Imagine this. You walk into a store, swipe a small piece of plastic, and walk out with anything you want. A TV, groceries, even airline tickets. No cash. No questions. Feels harmless. Feels normal. It feels smart because you're building credit, right? But what if I told you this simple swipe is part of the most profitable psychological system ever designed? What if I told you credit cards weren't created to help you, but to turn your habits, your impulses, your emergencies into a predictable stream of profit? Today we're going deep into the dark side of credit cards nobody talks about. A side built on psychology, debt traps, behavioral manipulation, and a business model that quietly reshapes your entire financial life. And the twist? It all started with a mistake. Let me explain. Before credit scores, before swipe machines, before cashback, there were just banks and a huge problem. Back in the 1940s and 1950s, banks struggled to get people to borrow money consistently. Lending was risky, people defaulted, and most Americans didn't like taking loans unless they absolutely had to. Banks hated this, because credit, interest, borrowing, that's where real money was. Then came a moment that changed everything. In 1949, businessman Frank McNamara forgot his wallet at a restaurant in New York. Embarrassed, he wondered, what if people could pay without carrying cash? This led to the invention of the Diners Club card, the first version of a modern credit card. First, it was simple, a convenience tool for restaurants. But banks saw something bigger, something revolutionary. They realized, if we can get people to borrow without feeling like they're borrowing, we win. And so the modern credit card was born. But here's the twist. Credit cards weren't designed around interest rates or fees. They were designed around behavior. To understand the power of credit cards, you need to understand one thing. People spend more when they aren't using cash. A lot more. Multiple studies show that paying with a credit card increases spending by up to 83%. Why? Because cash feels real. You feel the loss. A credit card? It delays the pain. You swipe. You leave. Then weeks later, a bill appears, disconnected from the emotion of buying. Banks discovered this early, and they built an entire system around it. Here are the secret psychological tricks. 1. The minimum payment trap. Your bill says, o minimum due, $47. Total balance, $1,200. Most people choose the minimum. They think it's responsible. But this tiny number is the bank's weapon. It's designed to make you feel safe, while keeping you in debt as long as possible. Miss one payment, interest compounds. Pay only the minimum. A $1,200 balance can take years to pay off and cost you thousands in interest. 2. The illusion of rewards. Cashback, points, airline miles. They sound amazing, right? But here's the truth. Rewards exist because they make you spend more. Way more. The average rewards card user spends almost 2x more than someone with a regular card. Banks don't lose money on rewards. They profit from them big time. 3. Deferred pain. When you buy with a card, the brain's loss center barely activates. You don't feel like you lost money because you didn't lose anything yet. This is powerful, dangerous, and the core reason credit card debt exists. Now let's look at the part nobody talks about. Credit cards aren't about lending. They're about engineering profit. Asterisk asterisk. Here's how the system works. 1. Interest isn't the main revenue, it's behavior. Banks don't expect you to pay everything back on time. In fact, banks want revolvers. People who carry a balance. These people make banks billions. They're predictable. They keep paying interest month after month. 2. Late fees. The silent cash machine. Late by one day, $30 to $40 fee. Late again, your interest rate can jump from 18% to 29%. This is perfectly legal, and it's extremely profitable. Last year, Americans paid over $14 billion in credit card late fees alone. Think about that. $14 billion. Just because people were late. 3. The algorithm that knows you better than you do. Ever wonder why you get the limit increase A tempting 0% APR offer. A pre-approved card in the mail. Right after you start struggling? It's not a coincidence. Banks use advanced behavioral algorithms that detect your spending patterns, your stress behavior, your risk tolerance, your income dips, even when you're more likely to overspend. Credit card companies don't just study your spending. They predict your mistakes before you make them, and they position themselves to profit from it. There's a psychological twist that keeps people trapped. Credit card debt doesn't feel like debt. Mortgage feels real. Car loan feels real. Credit card balance? Just a number on a screen. You can always make the minimum, push it to next month, ignore the interest, plan to pay it off later. This creates a mental illusion. I'll handle it soon. But soon never happens. And banks know that. The system is designed to make debt feel invisible until it's too late. Let's break this down with a real example. You buy a $1,000 laptop. Your interest rate is 24%. You pay only the minimum each month. How long will it take to pay off? Years. And you'll pay maybe $1,800 or more total. That's almost 2 laptops. This is why banks don't mind giving you rewards. The money always comes back, multiplied. Here's the twist most people never see. Your credit card doesn't just affect your money, it affects your future opportunities. Banks and financial systems use your credit behavior to decide your interest rate on a car, your mortgage approval, your insurance premiums, your job applications. Yes, some employers check credit. Your rental applications, your ability to start a business. One late payment today can cost you thousands tomorrow. Credit cards aren't just a financial tool. They're a behavior tracking system. Here's the part nobody expects. I'm not going to tell you to cut your cards. Credit cards can be powerful if you understand the game. Here's how to flip the system. Rule number 1. Never carry a balance. Ever. If you can't buy it in cash, don't buy it with a card. Rule number 2. Disable minimum payment autopay. Tricks your brain. Always manually check your full balance. Rule number 3. Treat your card like a debit card with benefits. Spend only what you already have in your bank. Rule number 4. Use only one rewards card, max 2. More cards equals more spending triggers. Rule number 5. Never accept limit increases automatically. Banks offer them when you're vulnerable. Decline them unless you need them for credit score reasons. Rule number 6. Pay twice a month. It lowers utilization and boosts your credit score faster. Rule number 7. Know that every swipe is a data point. You're being profiled, so profile yourself with discipline. Credit cards are not the enemy, but the system behind them is designed for one purpose: to turn your habits into their profit. Now that you know how the game works, you can finally start playing it on your terms. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit the like button so more people can learn the truth. And comment below, what's one credit card habit you're going to change after this video? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.